Good morning. How are we? Let's wait for a few of you lovelies to come in. How you doing, people? Nice to see you. To see you, nice. Right, let's share this out. Um, Good morning. Good morning. So let's just share this out on my platforms, and then we'll have a little chat. Some internet issues this morning. It's quite slow, so hopefully this will stay live. Morning, y'all. Morning, y'all. Nice to see you, people. Nice to see you. How we doing? Who we got in? We got three already. Nice to see you. President Trump, eh? People misunderstand that man, you know. And they're so quick to jump on him as well. It's really sad. It's really quite sad, people. President Trump. The geezer's 70 years old. Do you think he's enjoying being president of America? With all that money and wealth and that missus of his, how gorgeous she is? I don't suppose so. Actually, let's turn this mic off. That's better. Shouldn't have any echoes now. Well, that'll stop in a second anyway. So let's just share this one out on MeWe, and then we'll have a little chat. We'll try and do a little bit of digging on Trumpy. Trump's a good geezer. He didn't have to come in. He don't even take a penny for being president of America. Do you honestly think he's out to hurt people? And it's like living in the old Roman times. They're so quick to lynch people, aren't they? The people through the media. The media, for me, journalists and stuff, they're like robbers' dogs. They're terrible. Anything to make him and ridicule. They're all looking for something, aren't they? They pick on Trump. They're all looking for that very small, minute thing that they can flip. Now, what Trump said about sunlight and UV was just, he was generally interested. He said, I'm not medically qualified. He said, I don't think. But they're so quick to jump on him, people. They really, really are. Morning, Merv. Nice to see you. Debbie Starr. Hello, darling. Blow me a kiss. Oh, yeah, gorgeous monkey, you. Kenny Mack. Hello, Ken. Nice to see you. Kenny Mack. That's Chris McCauley. Am I right? If I am right, give me some 5x5s. I did get your text message the other day as well. So we'll have a little Trump. A little chat. Trump. Have a little Trump. Have a little Trump, shall we? Have a little Trump. Don't think so. Morning, Trace. Nice to see you. Deb Star. That's a lovely little kiss this morning. Dorothy Allen. Hello, darling. Nice to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Let's see what President Trump had to say about this so-called disinfectant thing. Sill it bang. They're so quick to jump on him, aren't they? And you've got to understand that America has got 350 million people, as opposed to us. We've got about 70 million people. And who voted for Donald Trump? Who placed Donald Trump into power? Because Trump is like a root in dried ground, isn't he? He don't. All your other politicians and presidents, whatever you want to call them out there, they've all been handpicked from families and all the corruption and stuff like Hillary Clinton. By the way, Julian Assange has just dropped all the files on WikiLeaks, and it'll probably take you 5 years to get through them all. But nonetheless, they're out there now. And the thing is, Trump is pretty squeaky clean. He is. And for that man to have all that wealth, he broke down quite a few years ago in his limo, and he got a flat tyre, and Donald sat in the back there and the driver's up front, and a couple stopped to help him change the tyre. They didn't know he was in the car. This was before he was president, by the way. They didn't know it was in there, and they just thought, do their nice duty. So they helped change the tyre, and then Trump leaned out the window and said, guys, thank you very much. Thank you so much for what you've done today. So The next day, that family that helped him out, there was a knock at the door, and one of them opened it up, the man or the wife or the husband, I'm not too sure. And why is that mic still on? It's not on, is it? No, it's not. And what had happened, there was a bouquet of flowers, and the bouquet of flowers was, "We've paid your mortgage off. Thank you very much, Donald Trump." Unbelievable. Would you have got Obama or no? Trump don't take a single dollar from that presidency. He donates all his money. Let's see what the evening stat. Let's see whether this will play. Actually, I don't know if it's going to play. Might play some ads. They're just trying to ridicule him, and it's so sad. Right, what you'd think, right, is that they'd get behind the president and bolster him rather than admonish him. Do you know what I mean? It's like Roman gladiatorial arenas now, stone him, and the media are just horrible people. The people that work in media, the newspapers in this country as well, they're horrible. They're like robbers' dogs. They really, really, this ain't playing too well this morning. I'm not too sure what's going on there. So, we're all still on lockdown. Well, I've never been on lockdown. I don't understand what that is. Sweden, the country Sweden's not been on lockdown at all. Their model's completely different, and we're at a point now where the sun's out. It was well over 22 degrees down here yesterday. And what's the best thing to get rid of illness? Sunshine, freedom. Me and my missus exercised some safe sex last night. We didn't get within 6 foot of one another. And that was pretty cool. We just sat at either sides of the room and looked at each other with a very staring gaze. It was beautiful. We was exercising lockdown in our own house. Lovely. Safe sex. That is proper safe sex. No point in condoms or anything like that. Durex is out the window. We don't need them. We're just exercising the distancing rules now. There was a couple yesterday that got 2 officers of the law, and I have to laugh now when I say that word law. Our police don't operate in law. They're outlaws. And they've got their paddling pool out on their front garden with their child. And there's 2 coppers. This video's had 100,000 views already. Morning, Dave Boylan. Nice to see you, darling. And these 2 cops, they're issuing tickets. Can you believe in this time period, right now, that the police are issuing tickets? It's all about the money, honey. I hope you see it all. I hope you can truly see what's going on, that it's all about the money. This is all about the money. All the police are interested in now is, it's like, and it's quite innocent, isn't it, when they're handing out all these tickets. But let's have a look at it. Look, here we go. Let's have a look. The old bill come round. So I might as well open that up and let the old bill just take what they want. Here, copper. Yeah, just go and take it. How much do you want for me sitting on my front lawn? How much is that going to cost me this morning for sitting on my own front lawn? What is it, 80 quid? Oh, we are. Go on. I'm going to sit on my own. I'm going to sit on my own front lawn, and it's going to... That's all you are to these people. To the state party, who are nothing more than robber barons. That's all they are. They should never be in a position where they can ask you for anything. Never. A copper and the state should never be in a position where they can ask you for anything. Why? Because they're your lapdogs. They're supposed to be, and I don't mean this in a derogatory term, but the state is supposed to be your lapdogs. They're the people that are supposed to do the bits and bobs that normal everyday people don't want to do because their life's too busy. And the reason why we set all this up years ago, this system of public servitude, was so that we can just get on with living our lives, and that we didn't all take chunks out of one another. Like when someone nicked your bike off your front lawn, we didn't, because that's what we used to do in this great country years ago. You'd go out and meet your own justice. And it was getting carnivorous. So people said, well, we'll set up this system that's fair and and we'll have these group of people called public servants that do our will, yeah, that don't harm us, so we can go out and go fishing, shopping, go down the beach, get the boobies out, all that sort of stuff. So we didn't have to bother worrying about all that. But the trouble is, it's just slid off the path. So a public servant shouldn't be able to ask you for anything, not a dime, shouldn't be able to. That's breach of trust. And this whole thing works in a trust, and that trust comes from this book. This is the trust, all right? Now, government, if you read this book, it says that government must be formed in accordance with that book, and it's certainly not happening now, especially when you've got, I can't believe what I was seeing, these two coppers fining this family. Well, they said, we're not distancing. Say, guys, we live in the same freaking house. You know, mother, kids, this, that, what are you playing at? Now we're going to fine you. It's unbelievable. That's the Wehrmacht, people. That's the German Fourth Reich. And what amazes me is that what we have in the past is people in their communities would have dealt with issues as they arisen. Do you know what I mean? As they arose, like disease, famine, pestilence, wars, or whatever. They'd have got together in their communities, if they had to, with their neighbours and stuff, and work things out for the best. And if people died, they'd have dealt with it at the time and and moved on. But now we've got this centralised animal called state party. And it's no different from Hitler's Germany, as I see it. They've got these massive, big, tall buildings. They're all arrogant. You get this arrogance, this level of arrogance that runs through the establishments, that you will do what we say. Oh, that's dangerous, people. That is so dangerous. You will fill out this piece of paper. You will bend to our will, and you will be a good lapdog. The system's turned the other way now. Gumshoe Sleuth, hello, gorgeous. Have you spoke to Alan? I found out yesterday that Angie passed on Tuesday, and I had a tear in my eye last night. But God bless her, and God bless Alan, and I hope that he can find some comfort that she's not in pain no more. And it's really sad. So nice to see you, Craigie baby. Folks are still too hooked up in needing a corrupt leader, still too dumbed down to see they are following the Pied Piper, whoever's playing the flute. They are. It is the Pied Piper of Hamelin. It's like, and everyone just follows them down the. They're all getting vaccinated, and people have lost the ability to think for themselves. They all want someone to follow and sling mud at when things don't go right. But like I say, their buildings are far too big now. The arrogance of barristers, solicitors, the system itself, the police. You got to understand, they're all in bed together. It's like two circles. You remember the film Meet the Fockers? And it was like, whose circle am I in? Well, they've got their own circle and they've got their own gig going. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? You're not in it. But all you are to that circle is the food, the feed. That's you feed that circle now with your taxation, your homes, your inheritance taxes. All this is going on. And why is it going on? Because it's an unnatural system to man. That is very, very, very unnatural. The rule of thumb is no man can own another. That's a given. No man can own another. And they're deceiving us all the time, and we shouldn't be deceived. And there's this maxim of let he who be deceived be deceived. But the problem is that's setting you up to fail, isn't it? You're in this system and it's setting you up to fail, so that all you ever are is their lapdog, and that you never figure out the truth. Well, quite a few of us that are in here, and God bless you all for joining this morning, is that you've figured out the truth and you've seen the wizard and you've pulled back the curtain, or the dog pulled back the curtain, and the wizard, who was this big, scary, smoke-breathing individual, isn't that scary anymore, because you know how to deal with a wizard. And that's what this is all about. This whole story of life is about finding the wizard and finding out who the wizard is and how the wizard works, and pulling the wizard's powers away from him and taking your power back to yourself. Morning, Debbie. Nice to see you, Princess. Thanks, Neil, for joining in this morning. Neil Cox has joined us. Tracy Pearson, hello, darling. We are their fodder in many ways. That's all you are. You're just a collective energy. You are just a name and a number. Now, many years ago, my family, we moved from London, southeast London, to Kent. And I can remember my mum on a Saturday, we'd have a ritual. She'd say to me, come on, get up, we're going into town. And I didn't want to go into town, but she used to, come on, we're going, get out. So we'd walk down into the town centre, and on the way down, we would do the bakers, we'd go to the butchers, and we'd end up going into town. And my mum would pay some checks in or do some banking. Now, everyone in this bank would talk to my mum and say, oh, is this his son? Oh, bless him, and all that. But there seemed to be more personal stuff going on back then. It was like we was all pretty much still connected. And then all of a sudden it was, the banks become really nasty and volatile and horrible. And then you just become a number on a piece of paper. And I just thought, this is all so impersonal. It's like them and us. And personally, all this capitalistic system, and I'm someone that's really, say, benefited, because to say benefit means that you've taken a privilege. I don't think a house is a privilege. I don't think a car is a privilege. I don't think having children is a privilege. I think it's a right. And I think every man has the right. Oh, Rob's outside, peeps. I've got to go. My mate's just turned up to borrow a drill. I'll be back and I'll come and see you a little bit later on today. I do apologise. I've got to run. I'll see you soon.